Okay, let's build your first network with Cisco Packet Tracer. This is twofold. One, this is going to be on YouTube, so it's for anyone who's trying to learn how to build with Packet Tracer. But two, it is also part of our school community project, which is designed to show you how to build the first lab challenge on the website. Without further ado, here we go. This is Packet Tracer in front of you. What we need to do to build our very first network is go to the network devices. Let's start with a router, and let's start with a 4331. Let's drop that over there. We'll get to the configuration in a little bit, but now what we need is some switches. So we'll grab some switches. Let's make it a 2960. We don't need layer 3 for this. We just need layer 2 switches. Pop 2 of those, one over there and one over there. And we're good as a starting point. Give yourself some space, make it look pretty. Then we need endpoints, PCs. So I'm going to grab a PC and place that over there, and grab one and place it over there. Of course, we can keep on building this and making it bigger and adding more stuff to it, but initially, let's keep it simple and just get to the basics. What we need to do now is cable these things. So we have two PCs, we have two switches, we have a router, but we need to cable them up and plug them in somehow. So down here in the bottom of the connections, click on that, and the cheat is to use this automatic connection icon. I don't love it. Here's why. When I click on this automatic one, I don't have to worry about whether it's crossover cables or straight over cables or anything. I just grab it, select the switch, plug it into the router. Done. Except which interfaces did it plug it into? I have no idea. I have no control over it. I have zero clue which interface that connection became part of. I can find out. If I hover over it, it'll show me what's currently in an up state. But particularly in this case here, where it's plugged into the router, which is still down, the interface hasn't been no shut, I can't see it by hovering there, but I can see it by hovering, as you can see, on the actual little icon. So it tells me that it's fast Ethernet 0/1 and gig 000. I don't want this in fast Ethernet 0/1. That's a fast Ethernet interface. I want it in a gigabit Ethernet interface, and that would be in gig Ethernet 0/1 or 2. So this is not plugging in where I want it at all. And that is the problem with relying on automatic connections. So I'm going to go here and delete this. I don't want to use that one at all. What I want to do is use manual creation, and I want to go and establish these connections myself. So that's the Ethernet cable. Go and select it, plug in from the PC, its network cable, into the switch that I want on fast Ethernet 0/1. Then I want another cable going from gig 01 into the routers gig 000. I want another cable going from the routers gig 001 into this switch gig 01. And then I want from the switch 01 going to this PC. That makes me happier. So now I've got a situation where the switches are plugged into the PCs on 01. So fast Ethernet 01 is where they're connected on both sides. And then I've got the switches connected on gig 01, and the same on this side, going to the router on 000 and 001. So that's the cabling and the construction part of this out the way. We've now built that network. The next thing to do is find out why these interfaces are red, because that's not a great start. And two, we need to go and configure some IP addresses on the PCs so we can try to get some communication going between those devices. The first reason why these are down is a router by default, all interfaces are in a shut state. So we need to no shut them to bring them up. Whereas a switch, all interfaces are active as soon as you plug them in. So the change we need to make here is go onto the router, click on it, click on CLI, break out of the initial configuration wizard, press Control-C, press return, and now that I'm inside here, I want to go and configure those interfaces. I want to move this over to the side so we can watch this happen in real time. Go into enable mode, go into configuration terminal, go into interface gigabit Ethernet 0/0/0 was the name of the interface. And what I can now do is type no shut and confirm that the right interface is going green. I'm not worried about this being orange just yet, because it is running through spanning tree. So 30 seconds later, that will go green. So let's not worry about that for now. It's beyond what we're trying to achieve at this point. But what I do want to do is go and put an IP address on this interface of 192.168.1.1, and the subnet mask is on a /24 or subnet mask 255.255.255.0. So we've got an interface configured on that interface. Let's exit out of that. Let's go into the other interface, which is gig 001. No shut that. That interface has gone live, as we can see. It's still orange on this side, as we're expecting. And let's go put my IP address of 192.168.2.1 on that side. /24 subnet mask again. That's it, we're done. Exit out of that, and let's go and save the config, copy, run, start, and save it to our running or our startup configuration. Good, router's configured. Next thing to do, we can close this down. Now we jump onto the PCs. So in the example that I've done on the school project, I said that the PC should be called PCA and PCB. So let's go change that real quick. That's just a change right over there. Then the static gateway. This is the gateway address of the router. So 192.168.1.1 for this PC. Then we want to go to the interface and give it a static IP address of 192.168.1.10. And if I select the subnet mask, it'll pre-fill in, it assumes it's a class C address, so it'll add 255.255.255.0 as the subnet mask. Good, that's the configuration for that PC, so that was easy enough. No save buttons or anything, let's close that. Open up PC2, or in our example, PCB. The default gateway on this side, 192.168.2.1, and the interface address, static 2.10 is its IP address with a subnet of /24. Done. All lights are green. Everything's ready. We can now do a ping test and confirm that this actually works. So from the PC, let's open up PCA, move that across so we can see the whole network. Go to the desktop, click on command prompt. And from here, we can then do a ping to 192.168.2.10, which is this PC. And we say a little prayer and we hope that it works. Now, if we get a failure on the first ping, but the rest work, I'm not worried. Now, you're probably wondering, how did I know that that's exactly what was going to happen? That's ARP. So address resolution protocol had to kick in. We had to wait for the ARP query to complete before it was able to identify what the MAC address is and how to do the MAC address bindings to those IP addresses. And then the rest of them succeeded. Now, to make sure that it was ARP, the two giveaways. One is the fact that it's the first ping. If it was somewhere else in between that, definitely not ARP. If it's the first ping, it's very likely ARP. But the second thing is, if I do the ping again, there should be no failure. It should work straight away. So all 4 pings should go through immediately. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.